of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. All right. Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Yes.
Did you by chance disappear in my packet?
Merry Christmas. Sit down. Okay. Did you find it?
Roll call.
No, I'm doing something else and I need to get off the phone. Did you find it?
All right. Here we go.
Bring it to me, bye. Sorry. I left something in the home that we desperately need, so I called to get it, and yeah, that's what happens when I leave early. All right. George Thomas.
Here.
Howard Benjamin.
Here. Were you there?
John Hendry.
Here.
Myself, I think I'm here. Mr. Anand.
Present.
Jason Ackerman.
Here.
John Camara.
Here.
Hugh.
Here.
Thank you. Marilyn Havard.
Here.
Joseph Lazarowitz.
Here.
Daniel Luna.
Here.
Jeffrey Lynn.
Here.
Jerry Martin. Whoa.
He's got an excused absence.
Camby.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Penny Meyer.
Here.
Thank you. Austin Knoll. Kathleen Padden.
Here.
Stacy Rains.
Here.
Charles Robbins.
Here.
Maria Skelton.
Here.
Steve Friedman.
Here.
Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 19 members present and we have a large quorum.
Very good. We have a quorum and we can conduct business. Comments from the chair. I have nothing at this time. We will start with public comment.
May I be recognized, please?
Yes, ma'am. You are recognized.
Thank you so much.
Board members comment?
I just need to find what I had in my hand. Because if I don't, oh, there we go. Okay. At last month's meeting, we discussed putting the Knights of Columbus MPG on the agenda, but because it, discussed having it go onto an agenda. Because it was after the fact, it didn't go on last month's agenda, but we said we'd put it on this month's agenda. And we discussed the fact that it was short notice, but, that we thought it'd be enough time. Mr. Merez made a comment about them being rich and whatever, and so on and so forth. Well, I missed, due to circumstances beyond my control, 99.9% of the executive committee meeting. I got there literally as it ended. So I didn't make sure that it got onto the agenda, and that's disparaging to me personally. So this being a holiday season and the fact that we couldn't get it on the agenda, we couldn't discuss it as an official thing, but I would like Mr. Desposito to please come forward.
Point of order.
Let me do this, because I have the right under public
Point of
comment.
order.
Don't argue.
Point of order.
Point of order later. Let me finish.
I've called a point of order. Recognize it.
Yes, Mr. Luna.
Public comment is for exactly that. It's a comment.
Well, guess what? It's more than a comment. I commented, now there's something I'd like to do. We've had presentations under public comment before. I would like to do that.
Can we come back to this?
No, I'd rather get it done.
You have to
Thank
agendize it if you want to do something.
Come back to it.
We don't.
We are going to have to come back to this. Do you have any other comments?
Yes. Mr.
Zev Yaroslavsky.
Luna sent me an email having to do with issues that we vetted in the past. We, every time you get a new regime, people want to change things. We had Public Records Act's request in the past that caused problems. So the treasurer's report was not only made public, but in the spirit of total transparency, we started videotaping and audio taping our meetings and putting them online in addition to the minutes. And the treasurer's report was supposed to not only be presented verbally, but in writing. That's what I was calling home about because I left it at home. Bottom line, it has been in print since then and whatever, and that was supposed to be for the benefit of the community as well in case they wanted a copy, so that's all I'm saying. Thank you.
All right, very good. What we are going to do in light of Mr. Yaroslavsky coming in the room is we are going to jump to that part of the meeting. We are going to be renaming the Irwin Street Mall after Zev Yaroslavsky. It will still be the Irwin Street Mall, but it'll be the Zev Yaroslavsky Irwin Street Mall. This council has worked with Mr. Yaroslavsky and his staff for years, and we wanted to honor the gentleman for what he's done for us. 3 years ago this month, Zev came and spoke before this council and kicked off our Distinguished Speaker Series, which we were recognized downtown at City Hall for. We've had the city clerk, the city controller, everyone under the sun has come because I said, Zev did it, shouldn't you guys do it? And lo and behold, they all came and did it. So with that, as the council president, I'm very thankful. Zev, you made us look good. Your office, Benita and Lori, have always been good to me. You guys also sponsored our first summit, our emergency preparedness summit. You got us those thick brown books, and we handed it out to everyone. You guys have been nothing but good to us, and this council passed the resolution a few months back to rename the mall. It will be a gigantic act of government to get the signs up because we have the federal government involved, the state government, the county government, the city government, the water board, a dog catcher, and someone named Bob has to sign off on it too. So that is all in the works and going through. But as the council president, on behalf of this entire council, I would personally like to thank you for all the work that you've done for us. And I am also doing double duty and representing Senator Hertzberg's office. So I have you probably don't have any of these certificates in your 40 years, but I got another one for you. So let me read it here. It's a State of California State Senate Certificate of Recognition to Zev Yaroslavsky on behalf of the 18th State Senate District of the State of California. It is our pleasure to congratulate and acknowledge you on the renaming of the Irwin Street Mall in your honor. The renaming is one The renaming is one of the many true testaments to the work you accomplished in the community of Van Nuys. Congratulations and best wishes from Senator Hertzberg. So there you are, sir. That is for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to recognize our council vice president. We have another cert for you. So, Mr. Vice President.
As if that isn't enough, the California Legislature, Assemblyman Adrien Nazarian, says, I join with the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council and local elected officials in congratulating former Los Angeles County Supervisor Zev Yaroslavsky for having the Irwin Street Mall renamed to Zev Yaroslavsky Irwin Street Mall. Your commitment is an inspiration to us all, and I wish you the very best and success in all your future endeavors. Thank you and congratulations, Adrien Nazarian. On behalf of the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council, we'd like to give you a Los Angeles Disney pin. All right.
And Zev, with the help of Benita, we put your picture on a cake. So if the cake over there is, it's a Zev cake, and the frosting matches the blue tie you have in the picture. So there you go. Zev, you're recognized, sir. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Thank you, all members of the Neighborhood Council of Van Nuys. I'm really honored that you chose to do this. I had no idea it was coming when I was informed about it, and there are enough things named after me by now, but my grandchildren will be able to come by and check it out. I love this community. I represented it all my years as a county supervisor and for a number of years as a city councilman. And you know, we've done a lot together to help this area and to improve it and to infuse some economic energy into it. It's a little out of your sphere of influence, but I think the Panorama City area, does that come under the Van Nuys neighborhood?
They're on the border.
But it's close enough. It's in your sphere of influence. The new County Family Service Center there is a huge
Actually.
improvement.
Van
to the-
Nuys, that is
Actually,
Van
it
Nuys.
is Van Nuys.
It's actually Van Nuys?
It's actually
Where does
Van Nuys.
Panorama City start? On the north side of Setacoy?
North of Raymer, the train
North
tracks.
of Raymer?
Right,
Oh,
because
very
I
good.
live right around the corner from that.
All right,
Van
and
Nuys.
there you are. Then
There it is.
Then it's on your watch. It's a very exciting new addition. Anita Trujillo, who was my field deputy and is now Supervisor Kuehl's field deputy, and will soon be running that office. That office is moving over to the Family Service Center, so it'll be really, truly a one-stop center. Anyway, I've enjoyed representing the San Fernando Valley as a whole. I certainly enjoyed Van Nuys, which had its challenges and its opportunities. Most importantly, if I could just say, the people who make up this community are great people. They're real people. They call on us when they really need us. They don't ask us to do anything that they wouldn't do for themselves. And I and my staff always knew that if we got a complaint or a call that asked for help from the communities of the Valley, and especially Van Nuys, that it deserved primary attention, and it always got it from our office. It's a little over exactly a year since I left office, so I'm officially now an elder statesman, and my life has been great. In the ensuing year, I have a new grandson.
Congratulations.
And he looks like a future president, although I'm not sure he knows that yet. And I'm now at UCLA, where I've got a number of projects cooking. I'm teaching. I'm setting up an institute, setting up a couple of projects, and back at my alma mater, which is very exciting to be around young, smart people who are interested in public service or related endeavors. And so I won't say that I miss the political arena downtown. I actually don't miss it, but I miss being able to serve and work in partnership with people like yourselves. Great staff that I had. We were all family together. So again, thank you very much for this honor, and I consider it really a singular honor. And the trouble with my name is it creates a major it's a major expense to put my name on anything.
Yes, it's so long.
So I highly recommend that you do what I did when I ran in my first election. I had a button. I couldn't fit my name on the button, on my last name, so I just put my first name on, Zev. That fit on everything. So if you run out of cash to put my name up, just stick to the first name. Thank you all very much. Happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you, Zev. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I also want to, on behalf of the Village Family Services, thank Zev. His investments for foster youth and transition age youth in the San Fernando Valley has been unparalleled. His support of our transitional home in Van Nuys and the drop-in center in North Hollywood is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you, Zev.
You know, if I could just take a second on that
Zev, of course
point.
you can. You can chair the meeting, sir.
There isn't a day that goes by when people don't talk about the homeless and issues that we, of youth who are, the fastest growing demographic in homelessness are kids. And people say, well, you can never do anything about homelessness because of all the NIMBYism. I tell them that's not the case anymore. That in virtually every community that I've represented, we have never had a serious opposition to a well-run, well-crafted housing project for youth, for foster youth, for mentally ill homeless people, chronically mentally ill homeless people. I think our citizenry has matured a great deal and recognized that we need to have facilities if we want to address the problem fundamentally, and they're willing to embrace it, because as it turns out, once the facilities are up and operating, nobody knows the difference between whether it's an apartment building or whether that's serving homeless people, or whether it's an apartment building that's serving people who are not homeless, who are not otherwise challenged. I think this city has and county have significantly, and our constituents have significantly matured. I say that to you as a neighborhood council because undoubtedly in your term here, you will be faced with issues like that. If we want to get homeless persons off the street, we can't just shovel them into shelters and warehouse them. We have to treat them. We have to give them a roof over their head and services that address the reasons they were homeless, they were rendered homeless in the first place. And that has to be in every one of our communities. I have it in my neighborhood, not a problem. We have drug rehab centers in my neighborhood. It's not a problem if it's done right. And that's our responsibility as a society. So thank you for bringing that up. It's been a privilege. The county's job is mostly to serve the marginalized in our society, abused kids, homeless persons, frail elderly, the mentally ill, people who have no health insurance. That's what our job primarily is. It's not very sexy, but it's the thing that makes or breaks our society. And having partners like that has made our job easier. We've made a difference. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yes.
Real quick, Mark wanted to say something. I'll recognize you too, Penelope. Yeah. No. Mark, did you want to thank Zev? Oh, it's a triple thank you. And then Penelope, you're next.
I didn't, I was going to wish you happy Hanukkah.
Come on down.
I'm Sister Carmen Summers from Valley Family Centre in San Fernando, and without the assistance and support and vision of Supervisor Zev Yaroslavsky, we would not be where we are today, and we are so grateful to him.
Thank you. My name is I'm the chair-elect of the Valley Family Center, and I wanted to echo Sister's praise of Zev Yaroslavsky for all he has done, not only for supporting our center, but supporting the children and men, and especially the children in our area. So, Zev, thank you so much. It's been a privilege.
Penelope Meyer, did you have something?
I would like to tell you that without Benita and Lori, your office wouldn't have, honestly, they were the best. And I miss Lori and Benita. I'm so happy you're back. They have been awesome to our community, and it's a testament. I miss your Christmas thing already, your little bell thing every year, and they are awesome, and I miss them.
I miss them too. Believe me, I miss them.
They were awesome.
They did all my work for me.
I know
Now I have to do it all myself.
Lori and Benita.
Lori, I didn't see you here. I knew you were coming, but Lori and Benita, stand up. Stand up.
Did you guys want to say something? I want to put Benita on the spot because I've known her forever. Did you want to? She said, George, I'm not going to talk tonight, but.
I think, you know what, the people have spoken that. Another name out here, we had a name in two places in Van Nuys. The Van Nuys, the Zev Yaroslavsky Family Resource Center down the street and right here in the hub. I mean, what an icon. He's been the best. And thank you, Van Nuys, for Neighborhood Council.
It's our honor and privilege. Of course, sir. Of course.
Mr. Chair, we have this, that's who that is.
Hi, my name is Ron Zeff, and I'd like to say a word about Zev too, and my experience with him when he was on the city council. I had a supermarket in Westwood that burnt down, and the community needed that market back. Zev made very public statements. He was going to help us get that store rebuilt. And I was given the job of getting all the permits from all the city agencies to do this. Each agency I went into, I put my stuff down, they looked at it, and they said, didn't Zev say he was going to help you get this rebuilt? And I said, yes. They said, that's all we need. You're approved. And thank you. I got through in record time. I got through the entire city process in under 5 months. It's a world's record.
Wow.
That was Westwood Whole Market on Westwood Boulevard, and when the project was, they had a marquee on the property, and one day somebody left a message on my machine says, your name is on the Westwood Hose marquee. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, go out and take a look at it. And I drove by, and big letters, thank you, Zev, from Ron. It was a great, we had 2 big fires in our district when I was a city councilman. One was Westwood Ho, and one was the Lutheran Church on Melrose Avenue, which burned down right around Christmas time. And get this, the city had a 3-story height limit, or 2-story height limit on Melrose, but the steeple of the church, of course, was going to be higher than 30 feet. And the pastor, who I went to junior high school with, Pastor Mark Rasbach, said to me, he says, you know, the 2-story height limit, which I got approved, is killing our steeple. I said, Mark, I said, there's a thing called a variance, and if there's ever been a justified variance, it's for a steeple to your church. So those were the 2 bookended my district. Yeah, I've got a lot of memories. I'm going to write a book. These are all going to be in it, and I hope you'll all read it if I ever get around to writing it. But I'm going to do it. And let me just thank Sister Una and Sister Carmel especially for being here. They've been such great partners to us, and if I was Catholic, it would be because of them. They, I wish Judaism had, you know, something akin to nuns who are so special and so saintly in their service to their fellow human beings. And in the case of these 2 sisters, they serve people of all stripes, of all religions, of all sexes, of all political points of view, and they made a real difference in the Northeast San Fernando Valley. So I want to thank you both and wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah to all the Jewish nuns. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 of them. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for...
Zev, I do have a question.
Yes.
When you got elected to the LA City Council, you're 26 years old.
Yes.
Mayor Tom Bradley came up to you and said, now you're part of the establishment.
Yes.
And you really said back, but now...
It's on tape.
But the establishment is not part of me?
But the establishment's not part of me, and
That
it
is
never
classic.
was.
That is classic.
Yeah, it's true. He was a great mayor, notwithstanding the fact that he did not support me the first time I ran. Everybody's entitled to a mistake. I made 1 or 2 myself. Yeah.
Zev, so first off, thank you for everything you've done for the Valley. My name's Jason. I'm a transit geek, for lack of a better term. And I think one of the defining pieces of your legacy is the Orange Line. And I understand that there was a lot of legislative hurdles in place back in the day. There was the Robbins bill, there was the Waxman bill. But now that we've cleared those hurdles out of the way, what are your thoughts on converting the Orange Line to rail?
Yeah.
Since it's over
There was
capacity.
no Waxman bill out here. It was the Robbins bill that prevented a subway.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a subway out here would have made a great deal of sense. It's too expensive and the density isn't great enough. But it did prevent an at-grade rail line, which was changed by Assemblyman Nazarian, who carried legislation to remove that prohibition. So it gives us the option to do that. Look, it's a decision that you all have to help the elected officials out here make. And here's the question I would ask. The Orange Line is the most successful busway in the United States. Carries over 30,000, close to 35,000 people a day, boardings a day, and far exceeding the expectations that the MTA had for it when it was first built. In fact, the day it opened, it carried over 16,000 people. That was 9,000 more people than we thought would be carried on the first day. So it's a huge success. The question is, to convert the Orange Line into a rail line all the way across the valley will cost upwards of $2 billion. The Metro is now looking at a new measure, extending Measure R, and possibly even adding another half-cent sales tax, which would mean 2 cents of every dollar that we spend would go to transportation. The valley is going to get a piece of that. You know, I don't know how much it's going to be. I'm not there anymore. I don't know all the discussions are going on, but $4, $5, $6, $7 billion, pick a number. The question that Valley representatives have to ask is there a way to improve the Orange Line increase its capacity, that's one of the issues that it faces, and increase the speed that it goes across the valley, but doing it without having to spend $2 billion. So the question is, do you want to spend $2 billion to basically replace and marginally improve an existing line, or take the lion's share of that $2 billion and spend it on a whole new corridor in the valley that has no mass transit today? Personally, if it was up to me, I'd do the following. Assemblyman Nazarian and Senator Hertzberg carried a bill which was approved by the legislature this year that allows for biarticulated buses. That is, now the Orange Line has 2 buses hooked together. Biarticulated means they would have 3 buses hooked together. That's what they have in Curitiba, Brazil, which is where this whole idea came from in the first place. So you'd have 3 buses that would increase the capacity of the Orange Line by 35 to 40% just by adding another car to it. Secondly, you could spend a fraction of the $2 billion grade separating some of the major streets across the valley, the major mile streets that create the traffic that forces the bus to slow down to 10 miles an hour as it approaches the intersection. Build grade separations there so that the buses can truly fly down each mile between stops, and improve the, reduce the length of time it takes to get across the valley by a meaningful amount of minutes. And then I think you have what I always called a train on rubber tires. If this had been a train, we would have to build grade separations. The Public Utilities Commission would never have allowed us to have a train that goes at grade through the, through streets like Van Nuys Boulevard and Woodman, that Woodman-Fulton intersection near Valley College, or Reseda Boulevard, or Winnetka, all these major streets. They would require us, because of the cross-traffic, to build grade separations. So my suggestion is look at the option of building grade separations on the major cross streets, which would allow the bus to go faster and reduce the time across the valley. Purchase biarticulated buses so you can increase the capacity, and you'd have a pretty darn good system. And then take the lion's share of that to, let's say it takes $500 million to do what I just described. That would leave you $1.5 billion to do something else. What's the something else? A rail line along the Sepulveda corridor through the 405 from the West Los Angeles area to Van Nuys, with a tunnel through the hills. That would be a huge. That's one of the biggest missing links in Los Angeles, is the fact that we do not have north-south transit between the valley and the other side of the hill. So that's where I would take that money. And there's going to be money on the other side of the hill for that 405 line. So if you had $1.5 billion here and $1.5 billion there, and there's $1 billion left over from Measure R for that, that's, what is that, $4 billion to start with, for a line that could really make a difference and actually may have an impact on reducing traffic through the 405 Sepulveda Pass corridor. That's my idea. I know that there are people who believe that the train is the only way to do business. That's just not true. I think there's some mythology about a train. There's no difference between the Orange Line, in terms of philosophy, between the Orange Line and a train, except what the tires are made out of. A train is steel on steel. A busway is rubber on cement. And we need to grow the cars, grow the capacity, increase the speed, reduce the time it takes, and we'd be able to move a lot more people through the valley than we do now. But it's a cost effectiveness issue, and there's only going to be so much money to go around. So you're going to get to make that decision, and you need to give the input to your elected officials, and ultimately you're going to get to vote on it because it's going to be on the ballot. And if I were a Valley resident, I'd want a new line somewhere and an improvement to the existing one, rather than just spending all the money on the existing one and basically replacing an existing one with a marginal improvement to an existing one. That's my thinking. All right, I think you guys have other business to transact.
Zev, we're going to go 10 minutes into recess, have you cut the cake, and then be done with it. Is that okay?
Right. Thank
All
you.
right, so we're at recess for 10 minutes.
Who's posting a picture of the cake to our Instagram? That needs to happen.
Are we doing for 10 minutes?
Nice. Stacy's on it.
Oh. I did. Oh, good.
Is it already set up or?
No, just do it. That matter.
Okay. Showing up. She can be like Ernie Bernardi. No, Ernie Bernardi has a star. Good rating. Oh, yeah? Probably like 4 times or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he should have been in there. He didn't run. He would have won.
Pardon me as I eat with a mouthful, I apologize.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that you're invited to our next one. Sure. Yes.
He's my boss.
He's your boss.
Is Jared on your board?
No, I just, we go back,
I'm sorry.
he and I were,
Don't
give me my own.
I've got that card before.
He was at GLAD.
Yes, he was at
I was a former GLAD person. I was also the CEO Well, the call centers are in New York, West Hollywood.
How's it going?
When I was there, so I opened
Hold on. All right.
Likewise, yeah.
Watch out,
Hopefully we'll make it-
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
We knew there was a party.
Last time I was here, you were sitting on that side, I think.
watch your head.
I got demoted. Yeah. You got a son that was with you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where did we?
Or the next
I saw
one.
you. You had a son with you. Where was that?
Bring a bag of
Well, I saw him here. I came to a couple of these meetings and just sort of sat and watched. And
Was I
This
with
new one
no,
I
I was just sort of incognito.
No, I saw you
hanging out.
at
got here.
You want to change the letters? Oh, was it My Map Your Neighborhood? Yeah.
Yes, I went
And you brought your
stood
son.
tall for the neighborhood council. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Oh, so you were there representing them. You weren't going to bring it to your own
I
neighborhood?
remember Daniel here
I
trying to keep
I-
order.
I
was trying.
I encourage you to bring it to your own neighborhood.
Well, I work in this neighborhood. I own a business. This is one of the neighborhoods that I own a business in. My neighborhood actually already has it.
Oh, you already did it? Where's that?
I didn't do it, but somebody else did it. This is in Canoga Park.
Didn't know. Oh, maybe through Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council. Maybe they helped.
No, it went through a neighborhood council. Like the Red Cross did it on its own. It's right by
Owens Mouth.
Owens Mouth. Yeah, that's our office.
Well, that's the office, but
Yeah.
they didn't do Map Your Neighborhood in your neighborhood? You already have those booklets in your neighborhood?
Yes, somebody went to a thing. It was like they went to downtown LA,
And did
like
it.
by the VA, and they did it there, and they brought it back.
Great. I wonder who that was.
Yeah,
Probably on my
it was nice.
list.
It looked like a
Thanks,
big
Good to
command
see you.
center. They said it was. It looked like really nice.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
yeah. that-
Nice to meet you,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you.
What's your nonprofit?
I represent nonprofits in the area.
Just all nonprofits?
All nonprofits.
Do you have a nonprofit?
I don't have a nonprofit. I
Okay.
have them that I donate time to, but I don't have a nonprofit.
You have a
Money can
business.
buy
Very
stuff, so
well.
I have for-profit companies.
You have for-profit?
I have for-profit companies, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're,
Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah, don't talk to me. I've got to get
Hey,
this
what's
thing
going
done.
on, bud?
Paperwork
How you
all-
doing?
I can't find
Always
it.
sharp.
I need to get this
Always
done, please.
sharp.
Leave me
Like
alone.
never once, but not
I've got to get this done.
even casual sharp. Always.
Yeah, well, I don't have the stuff with me now. I left it at home somehow. I can't find what I need. I need to redo it quickly. Just leave me alone, please. Please, please, please. It's not that. That is what I left at home. I left at home the treasurer's stuff because I still had to do it. She didn't go take any training. She didn't come to me either.
I know. Are you good? I got some.
Yes. I'm not in the rush. Yeah, no. That's why I got this early, because I don't like to be in a rush. I'm right there with you.
Yes, please.
All right.
I didn't know you were a CEO.
Yeah. I loved it, except oh, it was great. I loved it. The challenge I had was that I was traveling 60%, 70% of the time, and I had a health issue that came up, and it just was too much. And then I had run a national organization, so I'd been all